Sleep should not be this difficult, right? But if you're here, there's a good chance you've been fighting with sleep for quite a while. Perhaps you go to bed exhausted, but your mind stays active, your thoughts loop over and over, your body feels wired. Or maybe you fall asleep and wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, wide awake. Or perhaps you sleep through the night and wake up feeling exhausted, like you really didn't rest. Over time, all this wears you down. Your mood shifts, focus begins to slip, patience shortens, stress gets more impactful, and the anxiety about sleep begins to grow. Most people find their way here, have tried all sorts of things. CBTI, you've cleaned up your sleep habits, tried supplements perhaps, maybe you're on medication. And likely you've done the work, and you're here because it hasn't created the lasting change you're looking for. That doesn't mean those approaches are wrong, of course, but for many adults, they don't address the deeper issue. Chronic insomnia is often not just a behavior problem. It's not really a body problem. It's a regulation problem in the brain. I am Dr. Randy Cale, licensed psychologist, founder of Capital District Neurofeedback, and for more than 30 years, I've worked with adults whose brains simply don't power down at night the way they should. When the brain remains too activated, too alert, too vigilant, sleep becomes fragile. And you cannot force sleep if the brain doesn't know how to settle. After months or years of poor sleep, the brain can become conditioned to stay on alert at night. Bedtime itself becomes a trigger, and that's where many treatments fail. They don't really address this. Neurofeedback works differently by training the brain itself. We measure brain activity. This allows us to see where your system is stuck in patterns of over-arousal or instability that interfere with deep sleep. Then we use real-time brainwave feedback, the magic, to help the brain shift toward calmer, more stable patterns. Over time, the brain relearns how to disengage, how to transition, how to move into deeper sleep more naturally. This isn't sedation, it's training. And there's solid research behind this approach. Studies on neurofeedback for insomnia show improvements in sleep onset, sleep maintenance, and overall sleep quality, often by targeting high beta activation in the brain or strengthening and stabilizing these brain rhythms. In other words, we don't mask the problem. We're helping the brain change the patterns that created the problem. As regulation improves, sleep often becomes one of the first areas to shift. Falling asleep is faster, nighttime wake-ups begin to shorten, the mind feels quieter, mornings begin to feel that you have clarity. And when sleep improves, everything else comes along with it, right? Energy returns, mood stabilizes, focus sharpens, stress becomes more manageable. Remember, we're working at the level where sleep is generated in the brain itself. And when the brain changes, sleep can normalize in a lasting way. So if you've struggled with insomnia for years, you may have started to believe this is just the way you are. In most cases, that is not true. The brain can relearn how to sleep. It simply needs the right kind of training. So if you're tired of being tired and ready for a different approach, I'd be happy to talk with you. We can look carefully at what's been happening with your sleep, what you've tried, whether this approach makes sense for you. So when you're ready, you're welcome to schedule a conversation with me using the link on this page. Because when sleep returns, everything else in life begins to feel possible again. Thank you. Take care now.